All right, and we are live.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us an introduction.
So, hello everyone. I hope you all are having a great evening for this Monday. No, it's Tuesday. And
It's
y'all just gonna let me,
Wednesday.
it's Wednesday. Y'all just gonna let me sit there and just say Monday. I just felt impressed to come and share with you all, just to check in with you all to see how you're doing, to offer some just some free encouragement. And I have on with me two fantastic people. Carla Clark, she's an assistant principal, as well as a woman of the word, and as well as Danielle Butler, who has written several children's books, as well as an author and a publisher and a PR person, and also an educator as well, and a woman of God. So I thought we could all come on and just talk a little bit about calming the fears. I know this is a crazy time, but we don't have to walk in fear. We don't have to be afraid, because we know that where our hope lies. And so I wanted to come on and just give you some practical stuff that you can do with your kids as well as with yourself, to just calm you down a little bit, so that we can get through these next weeks and nobody is just out on the limb somewhere and not knowing what to do. And to also possibly give you some resources and some places where you can get the support that you need. So that's what we're doing today. There's no set agenda. There's no who's going first. There's no no leader. We're all here together to provide support for you all, because I know that this can be a very stressful time. And I want to start off, two things I definitely want to talk about is our children and yourself. One of the things, as I'm always reminded, if you have to put the mask on yourself first to breathe in the oxygen before you can help anybody else. Because if you're laid out in the floor, you are no help to anybody. So it's important that you take care of yourself first, that you calm your own fears, that you, even if you have to change your perspective about how you're looking at things now, it's important that you get yourself together before you head out to help anybody else. Anybody want to chime in?
So I think that was an excellent segue. I know for me, it has been quite a transition because I have a 3-year-old at home and a 7-year-old at home. And while my 3-year-old isn't necessarily understanding kind of the change of routine, my 7-year-old is very well aware. And so taking the opportunity to figure out what does self-care look like in the midst of trying to be teacher, be mom, also be, the regular wife, be the person at home that's making sure things are happening as well. So I think that is a great notion that you brought out, the idea of putting the mask on yourself. I actually had a conversation with my kids and my husband last night, and I said, listen, I'm gonna be honest, I'm ragged today. Like, I am no good at this moment. And if I'm no good for myself, I'm no good for you. So go in your rooms, do your thing, and I'm gonna chill in this bathroom until I get some sort of balance back. And at first it was like, wait, what? But I had to be extremely serious. And in what seems like a selfish moment, it was actually a necessary moment for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So one thing that I think that, being at home, this is a new thing for many of the parents, is setting the schedule. I've seen a lot of posts about that, that setting the schedule, and it needs to be every day, especially if your children are young, that a schedule needs to be set. And it's maybe something that you write down, that you tell them about, or even, also bring them in, what do you think the schedule should look like? What time do you need recess? What time would you like to do math? What time do you want to do language arts? Because that way they won't fight you when the time comes. So setting a schedule that is written down, that you can see as a parent and that they can see, and that you are consistent. That I think more than anything, I've seen a lot of posts about the parent now being the teacher, but one thing that good teachers know is that you have to be consistent. So at home for the next couple of days, you got to be consistent. They need to get up at the same time. They need to eat breakfast. They need to start, get in their respective places, and just being consistent.
Amen, for sure. One of the things that I think for the adults, I think you need to have a conversation with them about what's going on, and you need to put it in the language that they can understand. No, do they need to know all of the statistics? I don't think necessarily they need to know that, but they need to know why am I not in school? Why did they cancel school? So you can make it simple so that they can understand it. But you as a parent need to have the conversation with an adult so that you can get out all of your anxieties or all of your questions. And one thing I would encourage you to do is don't rely on Facebook for your information. If you have questions, go to the CDC's website and get that information. If you have concerns, there's a place that you can ask your questions, but make sure you are giving good information and you are receiving good information, because all of the information that's out there isn't true. I saw on television today where this lady was selling some type of special potion. If you drink it, you won't get it. There is no cure. So don't be fooled by stuff that you see in the media and all of the stuff that you see on Facebook. And there may come a time that you may need to turn off Facebook. You may need to turn off the television of watching the news. You don't want to just become inundated with this 24 hours a day. There is life outside of dealing with what we are dealing with.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Danielle.
I was going to say, I think that one of the things that has certainly helped me has been being mindful, number one, that the media is inundated. The media is very much doing their job, and their job is to spread information, right? And whether or not the information is true, if it is inciting, if it is angering, if it is anxiety driven, whatever it is, they are doing their job and they're on our job and on their job. And so it's important for us to be on our jobs in terms of guarding our gates. And what are we going to let in? What are we going to listen to? I have some friends that are literally tracking every single, uptick. It was 99 people. Now it's 100 people. But the truth of the matter is that's not helpful for the mindset. I know for me, like I get on Facebook for comic relief because there are definitely some funny things on there concerning this time. And I saw something earlier today that it was a statement that said, don't think that Black people are being disrespectful or rude or not serious about this because they're joking, because we have had generations of laughter to assist us through difficult times. And that's just a cultural way of processing things, whereas some other communities, some other cultures have different ways of processing information like this. And I think at a time like this, it's extremely important that we are mindful of what works best for us, what things resonate with us, maintaining some of that consistency. As Pastor Carla said, I have some girlfriends that I see regularly. So this idea of not seeing each other was really difficult for us. We see each other, our kids see each other. So this morning we took a minute to just take a picture of yourself. Let me see what you're doing and what you look like today. And it made a tremendous difference in just being able to say, all right, we're still here while we're doing this social distancing thing. We are still here. We are still present. And then I've noticed that a lot of artists have taken on, perspectives in offering, different things that are to bring us together, even though we are told to remain separate at this time. And I think that is extremely important. It's very easy to shrink into the background. It's very easy to unplug and become very digitally disconnected. And so I think that is important, is developing a consistency in terms of what our relationships are going to look like, what our outside engagement is, and making sure that we're following through with that every day. Yes, academics are important, but so is socialization and figuring out what that balance looks like for ourselves and our families.
I think also with, it appears that we may be in for a while. For those of you that are completely staying in, but you need to normalize your day, because some of you that are working from home, it needs to be the same kind of thing that you set up where you're going to set up, you set up where the children are going to be, and you got to normalize your day. And I know that for the most of us, that we see this as, some of us see this as a negative thing, is as far as being at home. I'm not talking about the virus in itself. I'm talking about being at home, having to be still, which we are not used to doing, that we see this as a negative. But I do think that part of it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to do things that you dreamed of doing. Those of you that, oh my God, I want to write a book. This is an opportunity for you to write a book. For those of you that may say you have a different hobby that you put down, it is an opportunity for you to pick that.
Uh-oh, I think we lost you for just a second, Pastor Carla.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hopefully she'll be back with us in a minute, so we'll continue the conversation. I think that she was headed in the direction of just saying that this is an excellent opportunity to explore some other outlets, some other avenues that we may or may not have followed through on. I know for me as a writer, that is one of the things that I've encouraged people to do over the past few years. There are tons of people that are like, I'm gonna write my book every time they see me. I'm still writing, I'm gonna write. But now it's the perfect opportunity to write. You don't have anywhere to go. There's nothing that is hindering you or stopping your schedule. This is the perfect opportunity to just write it already.
So, and another thing is for me is changing your perspective. You know, some people are seeing this as you all have stated, have seen this in the negative, but you get to choose how you see this. You get to decide, am I going to use this for my good? Or am I going to allow this thing to beat me down? Am I going to use this am I going to use this as a creative moment? Or am I going to allow what the media is saying, what my coworkers are saying, even what my mind is saying? Am I going to allow that to defeat this great opportunity that I have?
Sorry, I'm going to mute myself while you speak.
Okay, as you all have said, this is a great opportunity to write a book, to write your script for a play, to write your movies, to do all of those things that you have been putting off to do because you said you didn't have time, and now you have nothing but time. Those of us that said that we were going to get on an exercise regimen, hello. This is a great time. For those of us who said that they were going to organize their lives, this is a great time. For those of us who said that we were going to get connected to our families, we were going to talk to our families more. What an opportune time. You want to get to know your kids better? What an opportune time. And for the ones that have to work, it's you have to develop a new normal. I mean, that's the bottom line. You have to develop you have to decide how you are going to manage this time. You have to decide, you know what, I'm not going to see this as a negative. You know, even though I have to go to work, I'm going to put some things in order for my kids before I leave the house. There are going to be some expectations from my kids that I need them to do, you know, while I'm at work. But if you have the luxury of staying home, this is a great opportunity to interact with your kids. It's a great opportunity to get to know your kids on a whole nother level. And so the main thing is that we change our perspective. We use this time for our good. We don't let anybody dictate to us how we should use this time or even what we should think about this time. Hey, Pastor Carla, I'm glad you're back. We shouldn't allow those people to dictate for us how we should think about this time. This is a great time for you to interact with your kids when they're doing their homework or doing their activities. Show me how you did that. Come on, teach me that. Teach me that principle. So that's the changing your mindset, I think would do a tremendous number on how you see this time. Whether it's for 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, however long it is. You make it, yeah, I know, right? You make it work for you and your family.
I think that this is an excellent time to hit reset, right? Because we get so caught up in our lives and are busy in what's work and what's not work. And then we're running on or burning the candle on both ends, right? But this allows us the opportunity to reset and really put some things in perspective. This is the moment where we find out, there's that meme that says me sitting through another meeting that could have been an email. This is where we really find out what meetings could have absolutely been emails. This is an opportunity to reestablish boundaries and to also reestablish values, our value systems at home. Is it most important now that we are up and running out the door because we have to catch the bus because we have to get to school? Or is it now more important that we are up, we have the opportunity to do a devotional or spend some prayer time together without getting up as early? Do we learn other things that are outside of academics that may be important to our family? Is it important for our children to learn how to cook, how to, service various things around the home? Is it important for them to pick up skills, other soft skills that may be missing from their traditional curriculum? So I think that is one of the things that I've worked very diligently on over just the past couple of days, is how do I interject things that wouldn't necessarily be accessed on a daily basis? What are those things that I feel like my kids should know or that my family should do and participate in order to be better on the other side of this and to continue to think differently? Because this really does give us an opportunity to think extremely differently about the way that we do life. And while it is a negative in some situations, in some perspectives, it is absolutely positive because we've never been this way before, right? We have never done this before. We have the opportunity to create essentially what our worlds look like. How many parents, how many people say, man, if I had it my way, I would never go in to work, or I would spend more time with my family, or I would do this or do that. This is right now the opportunity to explore that and really run with it. And to even say, I thought that I would love to homeschool my kids, but actually there's too much for my kids.
Right. No.
To homeschool them daily, right? Or to build community. I thought I wanted to just homeschool and be myself and I, but I really realized that I need other teachers, people that are strong in other areas to support me in that.
So, in this time, also, you parents are kind of learning how their kids learn. So, because, they have an idea of when you go to school, that you go to school and you sit at a desk and you do absolutely what the teacher tells you. But for now, the parent is like, well, no, maybe you don't really learn like that, which is okay. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of help them to learn differently. Now you're seeing where I thought you finished those 5 problems and I kept telling the teacher in 10 minutes and it's taking you 30 minutes to an hour. You're now seeing how your student learns. But the thing is, what do you do? How do you combat that? How do you help them to be successful in this environment? And once again, it's about that consistency, because it's not like most teachers know that you can't scream at them, you can't fuss at them, you can't over and over with them, but you got to get them some strategies that you now become the assist. You now are there to assist them, that you now have to recognize, what, they really do need some assistance. I do need to sit down and not just say, do that problem, but I have to tell them or find something on the internet to show them how to do that problem. Or, oh, it's taking you 2 hours to read 1 page. How do I help you? So maybe now I need to get audiobooks. So parents don't just say, oh, you got to do it just like this. This is what the teacher said. Listen, if your teachers have assigned books to read or articles to read, then get it on Audible. Find stories that are being read to, like on YouTube, to kind of meet them where they are. So that however they learn, you help them learn. Because beginning to fight with them and fuss at them, that doesn't do anything but frustrate you, and it frustrates them. So think about those things and try to identify ways that, and if you have multiple children, they may not all learn it the same way. And one thing, another thing that I want to add to this, that you need to allow them to take a break. Like, they need a break. They need a break, whether they go out and run around the house one time. They need a break, whether they get to color, get something in color. And if you have small children, and not even small children, even like I have a senior, they don't need to sit in the house all day. The CDC recommendation is that you can take a walk. They don't need to stay in the house all day and do this for 14 days or 10, 20 days, how many ever days we have to do this. If all they do is sit at a desk or a table and work, it's gonna be some frustrated people. It's gonna be some upset little people and big people. If that's all they do, they need a break, and we need to recognize that.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And then for the parents who are struggling financially, for some reason you are not working because of this, make sure you reach out. You don't stay in pride. Reach out and see if you can get some financial help for your family. I know that United Way has a service, and their number is 1-866-211-9966. You can put in your zip code and they will transfer you or tell you where you need to call to get some help. There is also the cooperative ministries that will help financially as well as with food. There have been tons and tons and tons of stuff on Facebook about free things that your children can see while they're home, like the Metropolitan Opera is having operas that they can watch. I know most of us have never seen an opera, but they're having that for free. The New York Library has over 300,000 books that you can download for free.
Sonya, can I interject right here? That if you follow me on Facebook, Mike, one of a counselor who's the counselor of the year for our county, she is sharing things, and her page is on Facebook, and it's called Miss Doulas Mail. But also I am sharing, like I'm sharing stuff like a lot of things for students. So I would suggest also find people that you can follow that's really sharing new things as well.
Absolutely. And I also, when I see something, I share it. So look for free ways to engage your students, and look for new ideas. They don't have to sit and read every day. They don't have to sit and they may be reading signs. You just have to be creative and get them out and get them engaged. But most importantly, I want you as a parent to know that there are people out here that's pulling for you. There are people out here that want to help you and want to support you. And I know that this isn't Bible study, but I want to read one scripture. I got to read one scripture about hope. I don't want you to give up hope. I don't want you to think that we are doomed. We are not doomed. Psalms 31:24 says, "Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all who hope in the Lord." Our hope is in the Lord. We don't grieve, we don't function as other people do, because we have a hope, and our hope is in God. So remember, when you are feeling like, you don't know what you're going to do, you don't know where you're going to turn, know that you have people here that are praying for you. You have people that you can reach out to. And most of all, you have a God that has not forgotten you. Any final comments before we wrap it up, ladies?
I think that everybody just need to breathe easy and know that you're going to make it, right? We're going to make it through this. It's like, this is not the end. People may be making you feel that way, but you're going to make it through it. Your family's going to make it through it. We are going to survive it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that we are going to come out better than this.
Yes.
And so, can I say this one thing though?
Yes.
For children or parents or women or men, that your situation is not ideal right now. If there are things going on that maybe should not go on, Sonya, could you give them some resources to call somebody or reach out to somebody?
Absolutely. If you are struggling and you need help, there are so many resources. There's resources for domestic violence. There's a 1-800. I'm sorry?
I have that number. I would like to share it.
Share it, please.
So the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233.
And even for the children, if you know of someone that's being abused, that's a child, you have to call it based on the county that they live in. But I think there's a 1-800 number for that as well. Do you have that, Danielle?
I do not, but I can get it. Let's see here. In the meantime, while I'm looking that up, I do want to give the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That is 1-800-273-8233. Again, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255.
And I'm sure that since you are on Facebook, I mean, you're watching us, I'm sure you follow me. If you have a need or you have a resource that you need, please inbox me, reach out to me. I'll be happy to share that information with you. And please note that our conversations are confidential unless you are threatening to hurt yourself, hurt somebody else, or someone is in danger.
Yes, and so the number for the Georgia Division of Family and Children Services, which is DFACS, and the Child Protective Center is 1-855-GA-CHILD. Again, that is 1-855-422-4453.
And I would just say, share the broadcast when it's done, or share it with others that may need this information. Just share it.
Absolutely. Danielle, do you have any final thoughts?
No. Oh, yes. Oh, there's a little person here. Absolutely get out moving. Mommy, I know from personal experience and then from some other resources. Yes.
Do I have some juice?
Yes, in just a minute.
Can she have water?
Yes. Okay. All right. Water. We are problem solvers around here. One of the things that my primary care physician recommended is that you get out or move 40 minutes, 4 days a week. That is the equivalent to taking like an antidepressant, like it gets those endorphins running and moving. So making sure that you're moving for at least 40 minutes every day, even if it's in the house. I took a class today with the Miss Debbie Allen on Instagram, and it was everything. She was encouraging to all the people. There are a lot of artists that are capitalizing. I know that Lizzo is doing meditation music on her flute, which is very different from her in her normal space of being a rapper and a singer. And so it's awesome to see that. Coldplay has offered some free concerts. John Legend did one, and Erykah Badu has also announced a lineup of free resources. So just make sure that you are activating action within your body as you're moving. That goes for the little people and the big people.
All right, Pastor Carla.
I don't have anything else, Sonya. I just want to tell you thank you for even thinking of doing this, and surely we need to do it again before we, in the next couple of days or so.
Yes, ma'am. Remember you said that, sweets.
Sure.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening today. Pastor Carla will be on in about 30 minutes. So just keep your computer on. So she's going to be on and providing some information as well. So thank you, and look for us again in a couple of days. All right. That's it.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.